time of year, that is a tremendous thing to have in your pocket. They are pitching so well. They pitched so well that they could wait until last night for Judge to hit his home run. Stanton has been what we have seen in other Octobers. I'm sure you guys have been talking a lot about that. I mean, he's their Mr. October right now. Oh, and Michael, I had a line in my Sunday column the other day. I hope I didn't offend you, because you can't be the voice of the Yankees, because apparently Jazz Chisholm thinks he is.
I did see that. I was not offended. I thought it was a very good line. Now, John Sterling was offended. John was offended, from what I hear.
Well, yeah, no. Right now, Jazz is all hat and no cattle, isn't he? But no, they're pitching. And so when you pitch and you're playing against a team, the only time, I swear to God, I thought that they were in peril last night is remember in the first inning, it looked like Ramirez was sitting on two pitches, those two loud foul balls against Garrett Cole. And then, of course, then they started dropping the ball. And they just, I always talk about this in the biggest games in sports, okay? The Guardians just do not look to be up to the circumstances of the occasion. And maybe it'll turn around in Cleveland, but I don't see how it possibly can, because you're right, Mike. It's not been like rope-a-dope. They haven't been. The Yankees haven't been laying on the ropes, but they jump them early, and we see what happens. The Guardians can't fight back. They drop the ball. Kwan, I thought, was going to be a game changer if they were going to do anything in this series, and he's doing nothing. But when that ball dropped, when the shortstop dropped that ball last night, I thought there's just no way they're going to win this game. This couldn't be easy. The only thing, I keep waiting to hear somebody say, well, not only have they beaten the Royals and the Guardians, Mike, but they may have to throw in the Twins, and then they knock them off before they go to the World Series.
But I've been picking on the Central in both leagues all year. I do agree with you. That's the junior varsity. Would it have really been any different if it had been Baltimore and Houston? I know Houston has the history, but I don't know if outside of the Yankees there are really any great teams in the American League.
No, I mean, Donnie, if you had told me before the start of the playoffs, who's the boogeyman? Well, we know who the boogeyman has been for the Yankees. It's been the Astros. And I was shocked at how easily they went down. And I thought, you know what? I was ready to crank it up for Yankees-Astros one more time, because I wanted to see the team that has broken the Yankees' hearts 3 different times through 2017. But you know what? Listen, you play who you play. The Yankees are doing exactly what they're doing, and what they are really doing is TCB, taking care of business, and in an efficient way, and the way they are playing right now. And then they've made mistakes. Chisholm made a boneheaded play. But the way they are playing right now, they look like the efficient Tories-Yankee teams that we remember at this time of year. They are not beating themselves. They are pitching extremely well. They have had timely hitting. I didn't think Rizzo was going to be a difference maker. He might very well be. He certainly was last night. No, the Yankees, there's nothing not to like about what we have now seen from the Yankees in the first 6 games of the playoffs.
So, Mike, I'm hearing from precincts, and I said this in the 3 o'clock hour, that against the lefty Boyd, the Yankees are strongly considering moving Stanton up to 4th and starting Trevino behind the plate. Do you worry about messing with a good thing?
No, I don't. I don't think you need to get locked in. And Michael, I have to tell you, quite frankly, and I love Wells, and he's had a wonderful year. I don't know why Stan hasn't been batting cleanup all along. He is. If there's a more classic cleanup hitter in the game than him, I'd like to know who it is. I've often wondered why they just move him up, go Soto, Judge, and Stanton, and say, take your best shot, boys.
All right, the other big story, the Jets, they have a heartbreaking loss to Buffalo. They go out and get Adams. How much of a difference maker is Devontae Adams going to be to this 2-4 Jet team?
Well, I'm just happy that they got Devontae, because I know that'll make Aaron happy, because I tweeted this out yesterday. Now that he's got Devontae, the only thing left for the Jets to do is get him a pony for his birthday. And what?
No, as long as he's happy, you're right. I want the kid to be happy.
Do we not talk about this? We want Aaron to be happy. Okay, no, they had to go after this guy. They had no choice. He was available. The draft choice. Listen, it's a little late in the church service for the Jets to start worrying about trading draft choices. And guess what? This is all on number 8 the rest of the way. They're not losing. They're not losing because of the defense. Everybody says, "Oh, the kicker missed 2 field goals." Well, the other kicker missed a field goal and hit the worst extra point I've ever seen the other night. They hired this guy to win the kinds of games that he just lost 3 straight. And everybody talks about him like he's Peyton and Brady. No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't care how many MVPs he's won, okay? He's won 1 Super Bowl in his life. And the idea that you want to be Tom Brady, beat Tom Brady now. They have given you everything you want. And I'll tell you what, and he's got this kind of accountability-ish, guys, where he sounds like he's being accountable, but he's really not. I'm not playing up to my standards. Well, what standards? What standards are you talking about? The standards that we saw when you couldn't win any big games on your way out of Green Bay? And I thought it was a lousy thing he did to Mike Williams.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when was the last time, all the years you've been covering football, that you heard a quarterback say the wide receiver ran the wrong route?
Oh, no. It was a chicken you-know-what thing to do. It was a completely lousy thing to do to a teammate because, he tried to get all wonky and where he was supposed to be. Go back and look at that play. How far away was he from the yard marker? That ball, if he had been where Rodgers said he was supposed to be, that ball would have been underthrown by 10 yards. He threw the exact same ball that lost him the game in London to the Vikings, okay? And yes, we all got swept away, threw another Hail Mary, great. Because other than the Hail Mary, you tell me how many times this guy has been great in the 6 games we've seen them play so far.
I've asked this a bunch this week, Mike, and I'm curious for your thoughts. When they got the ball late, did the football gut in you say, "Oh man, this guy's going to march right down the field and win the game"? No. I didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it because I just saw that movie in London. And, I've written this on multiple occasions. Daniel Jones has yet to show me he can take his team down the field and put it in the end zone to win the game. Okay? He's had some chances this year, and he didn't do it. But the guy who plays for the Jets, that's kind of supposed to be his thing, okay? And the one cautionary tale I have had since he got to town is not just his age, okay? Because there have been still are times when he looks older than the earth, okay? But you go back and you look at his last 2 seasons with the Packers, okay? He couldn't beat the Jimmy Garoppolo-led 49ers at home to win a playoff game. And then the next year, with a home playoff game against the Lions, who weren't yet the Lions, that was as good as a playoff game because when in the end, he lost that game too. So it's been a while since Aaron Rodgers won a big game. So guess what? He's got one on Sunday, and if he's going to show up, Sunday's the time to show up because you look at their schedule going forward. It's not horrible, but this he has not been as advertised. And the one true thing he said is it's not up to my standards. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And it will be very interesting to see if the old Aaron Rodgers shows up in Pittsburgh on Sunday night or just old Aaron Rodgers.
I want to read you a tweet. We're talking about the Mike Williams thing where he threw him under the bus, and Aaron Rodgers, or he waves his hand like you used to the people, Mike. If you haven't played the game, right? So this is a tweet from Ryan Fitzpatrick. You ready? The former Jet quarterback. This response, he's talking about the response, he's playing a clip of Williams. This response is the biggest thing I don't understand about Aaron. Can be super charismatic. His swagger gives teammates the ultimate confidence. But why can't he shoulder all the blame in the media and then get behind closed doors with Mike Williams or the whole offense or the whole team or anyone else that isn't doing their job and tell them he needs more out of them? The need to set the record straight at the expense of someone lesser than just hurts me. That's a former NFL quarterback, also an Ivy Leaguer. What does Aaron Rodgers say to that?
He's 100. Well, it's coming from a guy who played in the league for a long time, who's the last guy that nearly put the Jets into the playoffs. He's 100% right. Yeah, I heard a guy in a bar one night talking about his ex-wife and said she had all the qualities of a dog except loyalty. Okay, and so no, that was to me that's he's the guy. You know, would they vote him best teammate or whatever? I don't know how they'd know over in the Jets land. All I know is they played 6 games. They scored more. They've scored the same number of points this year with him that they did with Zach Wilson as the quarterback last year. The turnover differential is worse, and so you know, has he been a lot more than the other guy? Yeah, he threw a Hail Mary the other night. Congratulations, you're the home office for that. Win the game. They brought you here to win the game. They brought you here to be a difference maker. And the only time he's really looked like a difference maker so far this season is against a team quarterback by Will Levis.
I do have one thing before we leave that's going to make you feel better.
What?
Devontae is living with Aaron because he couldn't find a place. He makes $20 million a year, couldn't find a place in Jersey, and they actually drove to the facility together. So it's really a good time to be a Jet.
Oh, my God. You know what? Again, let's circle back because we're all in the same lane with this. We just want them to be happy.
That's all. I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, Mike.
The image I had, because you're a big fan of the movie Taken, is when the stepfather bought the horse and he's sitting there with the karaoke machine. Like, that's the image that I had. Like, he got Devontae Adams is his horse.
Donnie, oh, my God, you're so right. I wish I thought about it.
Mike, another great Wednesday. Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
Enjoy the game tonight. All right, we have the Mets right here on our station. The Mets and the Dodgers, game 3 of the NLCS. And we'll have the Yankees. Well, tomorrow we won't have the Yankees because it's going to be on during our show.
Right.
But you can consume the Yankees, obviously, on TV or another radio station. But why would you not listen to our show?
And you'll be able to, if you wanted to listen to the Yankees stream, of course, on the ESPN New York app, you could do that. We'll have that available.
You are so locked in. You're so good at this, Peter.
Well, but I want people to be with us.
The Yankees will be on 1050 as well.
Yes,
no?
yes, that's true.
There you go. The national broadcast there.
No?
No, they will not.
Oh, no, not tomorrow?
Because the Rangers are on 1050 at 7. The Yankees have to be in one place for the whole time. They'll be on the stream.
Oh.
See, Don?
I do like that policy. Don't put a game somewhere that you can't finish. Right?
I think that's what my mom used to say.
No, yeah, that's what I try to tell the kids, too. Don't start something you can't finish.
Let's go to Caesar in Huntington. Caesar.
What's up, baby?
Caesar, love your work with the dogs.
Wow. Hey, guys. How we doing?
Good.
I'm Peter. Hey, Michael.
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
Great. What's up? So you just want to know how we're doing? Wow.
Well, listen, we're all doing well.
How's the back of your belly? It's a weird time right now. I feel like there's something going on.
John in Rockland. Johnny.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Once again, let's go Yankees.
What's up, John?
I have a thing that's asking when the Yankees win the World Series, should they resign or go after and give Soto what he wants? Or go after Pete Alonso, who's going to be a free agent next year.
Why would they go after Alonso?
The only 2 teams I see that would.
Why would they go after? Goodbye. If you're going to talk with a constant din behind you, it doesn't make sense to have you on the air. Well, why would they go after Alonso? Alonso obviously would rather stay with the Mets. It's going to be over $20 million a year. He's going to look for a 5-year contract. Why would you go after Alonso? It doesn't make sense. And should the Yankees give Soto what he wants? Well, if Soto wants $150 million a year, they probably shouldn't. They are going to make the best offer they could possibly make. They want to keep him. But what kind of question is that?
I could be wrong about this, Michael. I don't think, what the Mets do, what the Yankees do, is going to have anything to do with Soto's decision. Now, if the Mets and Yankees offer the same money, then I would expect him to stay with the Yankees. But I don't think Yankees winning the World Series, losing the World Series is going to affect either party. That the Yankees want him back, they're going to pay him what they pay. Is the needle going to move because they win the World Series or not?
And also, I mean, the way he presented the question, if they lose Soto, would they answer back with getting Alonso? Why? Why would that be the answer?
No, it wouldn't. But I think they just look at it as that's a really good player. They could probably use a first baseman. But I think for all the reasons the Mets wouldn't bring him back are probably the same reasons why the Yankees wouldn't sign him.
All right, we have ENN coming up in just a moment, but first, we don't.
We've got Doc and Daryl have had to shift to 4:30.
Oh.
So we're moving to ENN to 4:45.
Whoa.
Yes.
Cats and dogs.
Are you okay, Peter, with that?
I have some great stuff, but it's Doc and Daryl for
I got you. For first, Don us to tell about Bath Fitter.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
Acorns is built to put investing at the center of your money. Every time you pay for something, they invest the spare change. Every time you get your paycheck, they automatically invest a little bit of it. And even when you buy from some of your favorite brands, Acorns gets you bonus investments. Yes, that's what it means to be growth-minded, to find every chance you can for your money to grow. Acorns, grow your own.
There's a new side to Away, a side that's good-looking and has all the features Away is known for. It's soft, not sensitive, but tougher than you might think. The wait is over.
Now arriving, soft side suitcases from Away.
Hi, I'm stylist Mimi Cottrell. Let's talk shoe trends for fall. Animal print is an additive to make any outfit fun and quirky, from runways to retail. I really like the ballet flat for this season because it's not only comfortable and feminine, I think it elevates any look, and it's also very professional. Court sneakers are everywhere this season. What I love about court sneakers is the range of colors. Every girl should already have them in their closet. Find the trend that inspires you at DSW.
Was and how there was no pain to the treatment.
It's covered by Medicare and most private insurance.
I have no pain. That's gone away. And I got to tell you, I feel great. I'm back to playing a little tennis. Played pickleball, which I said I would never do. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, they relieved my pain and changed my life.
Call Arthritis Knee Pain Centers now and schedule your no-charge, no-obligation knee pain screening. Call 800-823-3160.
Back here for the Michael Kay Show. The Yankees taking a 2-0 lead in the ALCS is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The cork popped for the offense with an error at the outset of the game as Brian Rocchio couldn't squeeze this pop-up from Aaron Judge, which scores Gleyber Torres 1-0 Yanks after one. In the second, after Alex Verdugo doubled in a run, the Guardians would walk Juan Soto later to pitch to Aaron Judge with the bases loaded. It's a sac fly to center. That chases home Anthony Rizzo for a 3-0 lead. Gleyber Torres would say after the game that woke up Judge. Cleveland put up a 2-spot in the 5th to cut the lead to 1. The Yanks would get that back in the 6th. And then in the 7th, Judge hits his first home run of the postseason and 59th overall in 2024. That made it 6-2 Yankees. Jose Ramirez hit a solo shot off Luke Weaver in the 9th. That's as close as Cleveland would get. Yankees take a 2-0 lead in the series and now head to Cleveland for games 3 through 5 if necessary. The bullpen has been tremendous for the Yankees. Over 23 innings pitched and allowing just 2 earned runs this postseason so far. But let's talk about the offense from last night. 6 runs, ties for the most this postseason. 11 hits, that's the most for the Yanks in a postseason game since Game 4 of the ALDS in 2020. And 5 extra base hits is the most since Game 1 of the 2020 ALDS. Game 3 of this year's ALCS is in Cleveland, and it's scheduled for a little after 5 o'clock tomorrow. You know what that means. An hour prior at 4 p.m., you need to lock it in on Yes for our Game 3 pregame show. And then after the final out at the Flow, pick up that remote and kick it back to Yes for complete postgame coverage as our team puts Game 3 under a microscope and also sets you up for a Game 4 in Cleveland on Friday, which is a primetime start a little after 8, with our pregame beginning at 6:30, leading up to our Nets-Raptors coverage for preseason basketball on Yes at 7:30.
Covers the Jets for us, just tweeted this out. Mike Williams did not practice today due to a personal reason, according to the Jets injury report. Earlier today, Ulbrich made no mention of Williams' absence. Guys, Williams is ticked off, A, that Rodgers threw him under the bus, B, he's going to lose so many targets because you just acquired a great wide receiver, and don't be surprised if Garrett Wilson gets his nose out of joint, too. I mean, did the Jets think there was going to be no ramifications from this? I bet you they trade Mike Williams.
Listen, I feel for Mike Williams. He should not be that way, but I get it. I don't think they care. Michael, I don't think they care. I think Mike Williams pretty much was done the second they made this deal. So I don't think they care at all whether he doesn't show up or not. And Garrett Wilson has not had a great season. He had a good game on Monday, but he's going to benefit from this. So I don't think he should complain. Now, if he's going to be selfish, I'm not getting the ball as much, well, I can't answer that. It's going to make the team better. It's going to make them more dynamic offensively. And Wilson should be excited about that for an offense that has been anything but since he's been here.
But think about this, Don. He was the #1 receiver. He's not anymore. This was a first-round draft pick that everybody's raving about, going to be the next best thing, and now all of a sudden he has been moved out. I understand he's been moved out by a better wide receiver, but it's a well-known thing. Wide receivers have egos. They're divas.
No, I know, but would you say that Garrett Wilson can play better?
Yes, I think, or maybe this is it. We don't know.
I don't know either,
I think we put him in Canton very quickly.
All I know is, and I can only speak for myself, you're right, wide receivers are divas. But if I were him, and I'm not having that great of a year, and there's a lot of expectations around me. I had nobody throwing me the football in my rookie year, and I still won Offensive Rookie of the Year. That I would be excited about maybe being on a better team, a more dynamic offense, and a chance to win if that meant a few less targets. Listen, if he wants to get more targets and be on a team that's going to miss the playoffs, I don't know what to tell you. But if I were him, I'd be excited that I'm now a part of a more dynamic offense. If that comes at the expense of less targets, isn't that better to at least be on a winning team and a chance to go to the playoffs?
You would
someplace he's never been.
You would think that the natural answer is obviously yes, But you do wonder sometimes with wide receivers, would they rather have like 1,500 yards receiving and be on a team that's 8-9, or be on a team that goes to the playoff losing the first round? Now, if you're telling me about a Super Bowl, that's a different story.
Well, I will say to him what I said on the air to Mike Greenberg, not directly to him, but I'm sure it's filtered back to him. Did you not think this deal wasn't going to happen? I mean, come on. Should be surprised this deal happened. They've been talking about this for 2 years. And the second that the Raiders got off to the bad start and their coach called them out after whatever game they didn't show up for, everybody knew, Michael, that this deal was going to be happening. So why would he be upset? If he was upset and wanted the ball more, then maybe he should have played a little bit better, and maybe he could have changed the narrative. Now, again, he had a good game on Monday, and he hasn't had an awful season. But Peter, you've mentioned it. He could certainly play better. So nobody should act surprised here. We saw this deal coming. So I honestly, he seems like a good kid. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And Williams is bent out of shape because, listen, he's probably not going to be on the field.
I wouldn't think so. Wouldn't he be the first one?
Yeah, he's the first one. Absolutely. And also, the quarterback threw him under the bus.
I'm sorry. I know there's a lot, and I've defended Rodgers, and I still think he's a good quarterback, and I still think they can win to a certain extent with him. Not a championship, but certainly can go to the playoffs. You cannot defend what he did. I don't care. It doesn't happen. Guys, it doesn't happen. A quarterback never says that publicly. All right? Held accountable. I know that Rodgers holds himself accountable, and I know he's the leader of the team and all that. But quarterbacks don't do that, Michael. What quarterback does that?
I can't think of one.
I couldn't think.
I can't think of one.
You can't think of one that does. You know what? And if it was done, it was probably done by a quarterback that should know better. Remember the reaction when Zach Wilson talked about the defense?
Yes, great point. I just think it comes down to this, Don. I think we're at the point in Rodgers' career in life where he has no bleeps left to give.
And you know what? And this is the reason why everybody backed him when he didn't show up for the mandatory minicamp, and this is why he gets voted the team leader or whatever, the MVP. Because of our best teammate, whatever he won last year, is because they know if they're not on board, they're going to get kicked out anyway, right? Because if you're on board, he's going to call you out. So you better be on board.
And we all talk about that missed minicamp. Well, what does it mean? What does it mean? I was listening to Mike Tannenbaum on with Barton Hahn yesterday, and he said this team needed as many reps as they could possibly get, and missing those 3 days has turned out to be a pretty big thing at the beginning of the year. But nobody wanted to say that, and everybody said, well, you know what? If they end up going to the playoffs and they play great, no one's going to remember it. Well, they aren't playing great. They're 2-4, and now people are starting to remember he skipped a 3-day mandatory minicamp for what?
It was vacation, Michael.
Egypt.
He had to go to Egypt.
Well, he gypped the team. That's what he did.
But the thing is that he has been empowered by the organization, and rightly so, because they're all in on him. But he's the only one that's ever won. So, Michael, if it doesn't work, this is why I disagree with Chris Canty's point last week about how this is going to tarnish his legacy. It's going to be at the top of his bio if he fails with New York. No, it won't, because how is it going to age, Michael? Another quarterback that couldn't win with the Jets. Nobody can win with the Jets. It was the Jets' fault. Right? Because he'll walk away and say, oh, I got my MVPs. I got my ring. I did what I could, but I couldn't do it with them. No one could. So it'll be just another failure for the Jets, and then Rodgers will go out into the sunset and go into the Hall of Fame as a Green Bay Packer, and it'll be like this never happened. So stop with the tarnished legacy. He knows it. He knows that at the end of the day, everybody's got his back because they've got no choice. And when the dust settles, it'll be just another failed Jet season, and he'll be able to wash it off in his next shower and pretend that it never happened.
Now, we had Caesar in Huntington, and he said hello, told us how great we were, and then it dropped out, but he's back.
He's back.
Caesar, what's up?
Welcome back.
Oh, hey, guys.
Yeah.
Why is it always? If you guys can hear me,
yes.
I just want to know about the economical standpoint versus the Mets and the Yankees. Like, hey, Michael, it's always a pleasure to listen to you. But at the same token, like, how can you disagree with the fact that, the New York standpoint will have a basic economic standpoint, that'll actually clean up Queens. I mean,
Caesar, thank you. This is a very strange phone call. I'm glad that it dropped before, and now I'm going to drop it now.
So hot. He was so. I'm telling you, this is our audience. You are a bunch of potheads.
Well, that's strong.
No, he's high.
I just don't understand the narrative that's coming up.
75% of our callers are high.
People are rooting for the Subway Series because of the economic impact on the city. Listen, am I a bad person? I couldn't care less about the economic impact on the city.
No, listen, I don't.
I mean, what am I, a member of the Chamber of Commerce? Who cares?
I disagree with you guys fundamentally that, like, the idea that every fan needs to be against a Subway Series because you should be against stress. I don't, as a fan, agree. The idea that you care about the well-being of the city is the most moronic thing I've ever heard.
I'm glad you're saying that. I mean, I don't get it, Peter. Why is this all of a sudden we care? I mean, really?
No.
What are we doing?
Listen, here's the argument. It's going to be exciting. If you're like, hey, I don't care about the nerves. I want the excitement. I want the smoke. Bring it on. That I'm there. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, hey, I just think it'll be great because we really need an influx of cash to the boroughs. That's weird.
But that's the same vibe I got when there were people. There's a big poster of it. I think it was the back of the Daily News or the front of the Daily News when New York won the bid for the Super Bowl and all these people jumping up and down and hugging each other. I'm like, why? Who do you care?
Yeah, you're not going.
Game. It was stupid. Like, I'm sure will they make a few bucks off it? Maybe, but I don't know. Is it get more roads paved? Is it going to fix the stop sign? I don't think it's going to happen.
I remember when the New York was bidding for the Olympics. I didn't want any part of it. Why would you want the Olympics in your city?
Yeah, it's a huge pain in the you know what, and we're gonna have it. We're gonna have a World Cup here soon enough.
All right, so Doc and Daryl are joining us now. They are at Citi Field where they will participate in the first pitch. But Daryl is going to throw to Doc, and we're going to have to ask them about that right away. Doc and Daryl, it's Michael, Don, and Peter. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Good to have. Thank you guys for having us on. Good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, how you guys doing, Michael, Don, and Peter?
We're doing great. But I've got the first question I have to ask you both. Daryl, why are you throwing the first pitch to him? I mean, Doc's the pitcher. What's going on?
Nothing's going on. They just said they're mixing it up. That's all they're doing.
But you guys got to understand, Daryl was a great pitcher in high school, and I was a great hitter in high school. So we just kind of reminiscing a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of mixing the whole situation up. They got pitchers catching. I guess Daniel Murphy did that. The other throw out or something like that.
Yeah, Keith did it to Franco as well.
Yeah, so they're just kind of mixing it up.
See, I'm glad because we were worried, Doc, that your arm was hurting you, that you wouldn't be able to throw, but you could probably still you could get it to the plate, right?
No, it's fine until I throw.
Just kind of hanging out
until you throw. Sure.
Daryl, I'll start with you. The way that they won that first game of the doubleheader against the Braves, the way they came back and won Game 3 against the Brewers. I was getting vibes of that Astro series and the way you won Game 6 and the way you won Game 6 of the World Series against the Red Sox. Did you get that same vibe watching the way the Mets were winning those games on the road?
I did. Just coming up with big hits in clutch situations. Lindor's been very clutch down the stretch for them. Pete come up with a big home run in the Milwaukee series. It just kind of reminded me of what it was like playing when we were playing in the championship series against the Astros. Key hits can change the game. It can turn the game into your favor, especially late in the ball game. And I think a lot of times people don't recognize that. It's when you're facing good pitching and relief pitcher. I mean, we had to beat Nepper and Nolan. We was not going to be Scott, so we didn't want to face Scott again. So we ended up in some key situations, and I got some big home runs in those situations, and Lenny came up with a big home run. So it was just it's a team effort, and what these guys are doing, they're great. This team is great. The way they built this team, the way David Stearns has built this team and put it together, they're fit for this. And if they win this series to get to the series, it'll be amazing. But if they don't, they have a lot to build on because they have a lot going for themselves.
Guys, it's obviously been a huge year for you guys. Your numbers went to the rafters. It's been a special time. I don't think any coincidence, guys. Now the magical run has happened. Doc, I'll ask you the question, though. As exciting as your days each were individually, How crazy do you expect it to be when you guys walk out on that field today?
Oh, the fans always been very supportive of me and Daryl. It's going to be great. I know I'm excited about it. The whole day has been like you're a player again. I'm excited about it. I like interacting with the fans. I'm sure Daryl does as well. When we had our numbers retired, I don't think you can compare anything to that. Those true fans that came out and supported us, that's been supporting Daryl since '83, supported me since '84. It's great. But anytime we're here at Citi Field and sharing the moments with the fans, we both get very excited about it, so we're definitely looking forward to it.
Now, Doc, I know that you watch a lot of games. You watch the Yankees and the Mets. This Met team has
too many.
Too many, right?
My whole life, yeah. I gotta find a hobby, man. I gotta get involved with other teams.
No, that's a good hobby. It's a good, clean hobby. So when you watch this Met team, they seem like they're really an exciting team. Are you getting that same vibe out of them?
Yes, they are excited. They go as Lindor goes, and they have so many different guys that can set the table. There's not one guy you can really pitch around because they all, pass the tone. It's great to see. I think Carlos Mendoza's done a great job with the pitching staff, and at the trading deadline, they made some good trades with the bullpen. So they are very exciting, especially at home. The crowd brings that out of them, and so tonight should be very exciting.
Guys, getting back to what happened, the way that they won those games, like I asked Straw earlier in the interview, is there just a mentality that we're not going to lose? We're going to handle this situation because we've been there before. How much of is it more of a mental game than a physical game, being able to come back and still feel that you're never out of a game?
Well, I think the key for any team, when you know who you are and you have the right identity in your makeup, you can come back and win ball games. I think that's what it was for us in '86. A lot of teams would jump out ahead of us, and they think, well, it was over, and we'd sit over in the dugout and we think to ourselves, they're crazy if they think this is over. And I think this Met team is just like that. They're never out of it. They feel like they still have a chance. I mean, I know they didn't play great in the National League Championship Series Game 1, but they came back the next day, and they came back and they put it on the Dodgers, and that was a big win for them to be able to come back and do that. That just shows the character of what kind of ball club you have, that know that you can come back regardless of if you lose a game, if you struggle in a game, it's not over. It's a 7-game series. It's not a short series, so you have a window of time to come back and play the next couple of days and get yourself back right in the series. This is an important series to get off here for them at home and take care of their business at home and not put themselves in a hole. I think when you put yourself in a hole in the playoffs, that's when you struggle. I think that's what happened to us in '88. We allowed the Dodgers, to really get us in that series, and we had handled them all year. But in the playoffs is different. It's a different animal. You cannot let teams get you, because that doesn't mean you're going to be able to come back and win that ball game. And they came back in some ball games, and they did that to us. So hopefully these guys can, get off to a good start here and play well at home and close out some games here, so they don't have to go back there and play a Game 7.
Now, Darryl, obviously, we lost a great Met recently in Ed Kranepool, and we've been talking about the greatness of Francisco Lindor. Where are you seeing his legacy? I mean, it's starting to feel like, Darryl, he could already be an all-time Met. What are your thoughts?
Well, he's at the beginning of it, and I'm happy for him because he's a good kid. I think coming here, big contract, all the expectations and pressure on him was tough the first couple seasons. But now I think he's feeling very comfortable about who he is, and he's stepping into the role. He's being a good team leader, and he's out front. He's dealing with the media. I think that's what's important when you play here. If you don't deal with the media and you hide from the media, you're going to struggle. And when they get on you and say things about you, you're not going to be able to handle it. I think what Lindor has done is he's blocked out the noise, and that's what was really important, being able to block out all the unnecessary stuff that's being talked about. He's just remembering what's important, that he's a baseball player, and the kid has tremendous talent all the way around, offense, defense, and everything. He does it all, 30-30. He's a phenomenal player, and he's going to be that way for a long time because he's a hard worker, and he's got great personality, and he's got great character about himself.
We're talking with Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. They're going to participate in the first pitch today, and you both know how much I care about you, but I've got to be blunt, Darryl. I got to tell you something you might not like to hear. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
You got to throw the first pitch from the rubber. You can't go in front of the mound. You can't.
Oh, my
Come
God.
on, man. It's got to be from the rubber.
Mike, you must be completely crazy. That's why I'm glad I'm catching. I'm not going up to the rubber.
Why not?
You tell him you do whatever you want. You're Darryl Strawberry.
Why not?
That's
You
right.
have a great arm. I've seen you throw.
Here, Doc, and catch it. And let's go. Yeah.
So you've already thought this through. There's no way you're going to the rubber.
There's no way. Those days are over. You know, Doc wouldn't even go to the rubber at this point in time. And he's a pitcher. So I'm going to do just like Keith did. I go halfway. I'm not 25. I'm 62. Doc's about 92. So
right. But you always had a competition with Keith. You always had a competition with Keith.
Like the older you get, the further the mound gets.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a long way, Mike. Mike, you always got to joke about something.
You know how I believe in you. I believe that 60 feet 6 inches. You could do it. You could do it, Darryl.
You have nothing to prove to anybody, Darryl.
I know Michael K. Mike's always dreaming. You know, the reality is the real reality is I can't do it, Mike. I'm sorry.
Well, you know I'm always dreaming, but I'm not dreaming about you being on the rubber. That's for sure.
Hey, he told me he always pitched in high school and how hard he threw. So now we get to see it.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it'll be a fun night. It'll be a fun night throwing the Doc. Doc's usually always throwing to everybody else, and I'm throwing people, but it'll be a fun night. You know, the memories are real, and the National League Championship Series is real. And I just hope the Mets can beat the Dodgers this time around because I just, like I said before, the 88 season, we let them beat us. They went on to beat that Oakland team. I felt bad about that series because we had a better team than 88, more talented team, but the 86 team just had a lot of guys had a lot more guts on the 86 team. Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Have a great time, guys. Great talking with you. Thanks for coming on with us.
Have fun, guys.
All right, thanks for having us.
All right, thanks for having us. Appreciate it, guys.
You got it. Gooden and Strawberry, they are together forever in Met history, and they'll be together tonight throwing out the first pitch. We'll come back with what looks like an abbreviated ENN.
No.
No? What do you mean no?
No, it is, but I don't know what we're going to
You know what? Let's do some production right now. Would you rather it be a 5:30 ENN?
Probably, because we're going to be squeezing here to 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's not right to you. It's not right to your family.
No, it's not right to the constituents.
Yeah, so let's do it at 5:30. We'll make an executive decision. Come back, take some phone calls. Maybe more people concerned about economic viability of the city. It's Kay, LaGreca, Rosenberg, and you right here on Yes on 880 ESPN.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
Managing my credit card debt was overwhelming, and it just wasn't a good place to be. My name is Carter, and Upstart helped me get rid of that credit card debt with a personal loan. Checking my rate with Upstart was super quick, super easy. It took me a few minutes to get my pre-approval and to get my interest rate. I got my money the next day. Having the opportunity to just have one due date a month and only paying one person made my life a lot easier.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
We have food at home. Now means something deliciously easy with Home Chef. With our quick, energizing breakfast options to enjoy on the go, tasty lunches ready in minutes to help you power through the day, and easy prepped, no-mess dinners for busy weeknights. Your favorite place to grab a bite is right at home. Get breakfast, lunch, and dinner delivered to your door by Home Chef. And don't forget dessert. Order now and get 18 free meals and free shipping, plus free dessert for life.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. More than a point of sale, Square keeps you ready for any restaurant rush. And with Square, there are no hidden fees ever. At Square, get 24/7 support to help keep lines moving. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, team, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow tea to be a moment just for you.
That's what I hope for.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
Whoa, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell. My 2 cents?
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 Here's my 2 cents. I'm planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, man. You can get that.
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
Get 3.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
People, it's Reese's season.
Boo. Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees, Nets, and more of your local teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
For the Dodgers, Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman at the top, Muncy, Hernandez, and Lux in the middle. That's Teoscar Hernandez. And the bottom of the order, it's Smith, Edman, and Kike Hernandez. That's the bottom third. The Met order, Lindor, Vientos, and Nimmo at the top. Alonso, Marte, and J.D. Martinez in the middle. Iglesias, Taylor, and Alvarez on the bottom of the order. It's Walker Buehler, who has not been anything close to what he was before his injury against Luis Severino. And again, we'll have that game right here on 880 ESPN.
You know, it's so interesting talking to Doc and Daryl, and you know how big a Met fan I am, and I had the pleasure of interviewing all of them. They all had gotten together back in 2016 for the 30th anniversary of '86, and Steiner was nice enough to invite me out there to do like interviews within the building that would be broadcast all over the place, and guests were there and all that. You would think after all this time there'd be some bravado for a team that had tons of it to say, "Oh, we would have beat Mike Scott," and to a man. 38 years later, they all just say, "Oh, we wouldn't have beaten him." It's amazing to me how just how dominant he was against them, that I never seen it in any other sport, that a team had to treat their Game 6 like it was a Game 7. Like, it was done. They were not beating Mike Scott. So you would think it would age into a place where, oh, no, I think we would have beaten. No, I forget it was Doc or I think it was Darryl. We wouldn't have beaten Mike Scott. Still, doesn't that surprise you?
Well,
why not now? No, there's no way you could be proven
I think they
wrong.
could always fall back on the fact that they felt that Mike Scott was cheating. they were scuffing the baseball.
No, that's what they would say. But still, like, for a team that said never say die, we were never out of it, if you thought you were going to be it, but that's the one kryptonite to the 86 Mets, that they would not have won Game 7 if they didn't come back and win Game 6. It's crazy.
Explain this to me, Donnie boy.
Yes.
SNY reporting that Game 5, which is Friday, Matt Harvey will throw out the first pitch to Yoenis Cespedes. So why is Harvey throwing out the first pitch? Why isn't Doc?
Because obviously, Michael, he's not going to say he probably can't throw anymore. And here's the thing: if Darryl bounces it
doesn't really matter.
He was an outfielder. I know he pitched in high school, and he had a tremendous arm, Michael. It was a thing of beauty to watch him throw.
That's why he should be from the rubber.
But these are old. These guys are in their 60s now, and I'm sure
you're in your 60s. You would throw from the rubber.
It's totally different. What does an athlete have to prove?
Because I think Darryl spiking it hits differently than Doc doing it. Because Doc's the pitcher, and he probably knows.
All right, that's a fair point.
You know what? Nobody's going to get. You're going to get on him because he's not pitching from the rubber. But listen, Strawberry doesn't care what anybody.
He cares about me.
But no, he does care about you, but he doesn't care what you think in this instance because he's not going to throw from the rubber. But how does it look if Doc doesn't throw from the rubber? So it's probably even if he's healthy, Jace, because I'm sure his shoulder barks. Mine does, and when you get to a certain age, you're not throwing hard anymore, and it not hurt. But it just looks differently if the pitcher can't reach the plate or has to pitch from the grass or at the bottom of the mound, the hill. So it's probably the right thing to do optically.
All right.
They don't have to prove it. It's amazing, those two. It still resonates, man. It still does.
I'm telling you, I think tonight is going to be all kinds of electric when they come out there. And it's a nice late first pitch, too. So what time should they get out there? If it's 8:08 first pitch, what time do you think Darryl and Doc walk out?
Probably 7:50, 7:55.
So because it's the late first pitch, I have to imagine the building should be pretty full by then. It's going to be awesome.
And you're going to be there. You're going to report from there for us.
I hope I will. I hope I can get there by then. But it's going to be special.
And I was offered tickets by Peter. I declined only because I have a chance, Michael, to at least watch an hour with Marco. And I couldn't watch. I was on the phone with him when Lindor hit the grand slam because I was doing Rangers. That was cool. But I want to be able to watch it with Marco. And there was not an extra ticket for Marco because I would have pulled him right out of school.
There you go.
Right out of school.
Big 5 o'clock hour coming up. We've got Dan Orlovsky coming on. We've moved ENN to 5:30 today.
Big move.
A lot of stuff happening. Your phone calls as well. We'll go back on Yankees and the Guardians game 2 and look ahead Mets and the Dodgers game 3. Exciting times in sports here in New York, and you're listening to us and watching us on YesN right here on 880 ESPN.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx, made some mistakes, but eventually becomes one of those hard-working citizens who keep our city going. But he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and his only hope is a lung transplant. Where at one hospital, Montefiore Einstein get him a new lung, and they give him a new life. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
They give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
the story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera, you lived it.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
I wonder how this mattress compares to that big name brand.
No need to wonder. Hit that button. Let's play Bob's Dare to Compare. My signature hybrid mattress versus the leading brand name hybrid mattress. What are you looking for, Carolina?
Contouring memory foam?
Can ship in a box? 20-year warranty.
Just mine has that, and theirs is over $1,000 more. Sure, they're not exactly the same, but is theirs worth so much more? You be the judge when you dare to compare. In-store or at mybobs.com.
Man, these seats. Right? I wonder how the other guys are doing. We spent hours finding a deal on these. Trash. They should have used Game Time. The easiest way to find only the best deals for the best seats with their Game Time picks. What time is it? Game Time.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
You said it. You don't have to worry about anything when you're saving dough with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Sharks, getting trapped in an elevator, dogs with human-like faces, my carbon footprint, my daughter's JV hockey schedule.
Life. It's full of moments. Moments that make life special. Now, life can also bring us difficult and disruptive moments like a cancer diagnosis. Which is why the groundbreaking work of Stand Up to Cancer is so vital. They bring together top minds from different fields to find new and better treatments so patients can thrive. Please join Stand Up to Cancer and Myrtle Beach to help families get back to where they belong, making new memories for years to come.
At Manchester City Football School, both boys and girls can train and develop at a world-class facility.
This course helped me develop my football skills a lot.
I have enjoyed learning to play like an actual Manchester City player.
Class-leading safety features at every turn. The Hyundai Tucson.
Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 1.99% APR, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. Hurry in.
We got nets.
Welcome back to the show. Yankees up 2-0 over the Guardians. The series shifts to Cleveland tomorrow for Game 3. We brought this up in the 3 o'clock hour, so you could say we reported exclusively that there's a very good chance that Trevino replaces Wells in the lineup tomorrow, and against the lefty, they will move Stanton up to the cleanup spot in place of Wells, not knowing exactly where Trevino is going to bat. It's obviously not going to be in the cleanup spot. It'll be in the bottom of the order, and Aaron Boone is speaking right now to the media, and he did confirm there is a chance that he will go with Trevino tomorrow against the lefty Boyd. So we had it here first. There's no need to listen to any place else. This is the place to be. We're going to have the information first and best. That's all there is to it. So Trevino likely in the lineup tomorrow. Stanton will move from 5 to 4. How the rest of the lineup shakes out, not quite certain. But the Guardians starting the left-hander Boyd precipitates, hey, you're playing 3 games in a row. Might be a time to give Wells some time off because he's played every single game. So you give him tomorrow off, and then he'll play obviously on Friday and Saturday.
I wonder if that's the play. It's 3 games in a row. He's not hitting. We want to get Trevino a look here, and we don't think he fits in batting cleanup. So now that gives us the excuse to juggle the order. Wells comes back on Friday, and now because you've already taken him out of the cleanup spot, you can leave Stanton there. I'm wondering if that's going to be the angle. It's giving Wells a rest, and now you can ultimately make the change for good, especially if you win the game.
Well, there is one concern, though. Trevino is a real good defender, great framer. He has not thrown well at all this year. So if the Guardians get on, I think they're going to run wild, because I think that Trevino is a better, although Wells is really, really good. So don't take this the wrong way. Trevino's probably better at calling a game and framing, although it's just slight. But Wells is better at throwing, and that used to be the knock against him. He's turned himself into a really good catcher.
Right.
So you might sacrifice a little bit defensively tomorrow.
You might.
If the Guardians get on base against Clark Schmidt.
But if they're committed to not having him pitch every single game of the series or catch every game of the series, well, then this is the game to do.
Right.
Because, as you said, it's the first of what could be 3 in a row. If you sweep the series, then it doesn't matter. So is that the way you think it would go in the World Series too?
Not quite sure. I mean, if Wells continues to not hit, maybe.
So yeah, because that could end up being a problem against the Dodgers or Mets as far as like them stealing the extra base. Obviously Ohtani can steal. So I don't think you much have to worry about it. I think the Yankees are going to win this series, but they can't conduct themselves that way. The scene does shift. The old Riley series doesn't turn until a team loses a home game. So, there's still a chance that the Guardians can find it on the road. But I think they've got the built-in excuse of the rest for Wells, and it can open the door now for them to make the change permanently of Wells not being batting cleanup when he comes back to catch again.
And that's in the Dodgers tonight. We gave you the lineups. It's going to be Severino for the Mets, and it's going to be Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. And I said this over and over during the DS. The Mets should be rooting for the Dodgers because I think the Dodgers are an easier play for the Mets. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but the Padres bring so much more firepower when it comes to pitching. Just consider the Dodgers had to go with an opener in Game 2 of the NLCS. Think about that. They went with an opener, and it didn't work out. Now, it did work out against the Padres in Game 4, and they're not being cute. They're not being analytic. They don't have pitchers. They don't have starters. So this is done out of absolute abject necessity. And although Walker Buehler is one of their quote-unquote healthy pitchers, Don, he hasn't pitched well at all.
And the Mets got those 6 runs quick.
Yep.
Because the other thing the Dodgers have is a really good bullpen. And if you notice, that the Mets only got the one more run, the insurance run in the top of the 9th inning to make it 7-3. So if you don't get to the opener, this bullpen is going to be really tough on you. So, and the same thing goes with, make sure you get to the starting pitching, because once they get to that bullpen, they kind of figure it out. So, still a really good team, good offensive team, but both games kind of went the same way. Dodgers had a little pushback, scoring their 3 runs, but get the early lead and hold on, and certainly the Dodgers didn't have to worry about it with a 9-0 win. But as Strauss said, for the Mets to be able to answer back, not just win, but win in somewhat convincing fashion, I think is a nice little statement as they come home here for a building that should be pretty incredible. The atmosphere should be pretty nuts coming up here. It's been the first postseason game, this deep into the playoffs at Citi Field in almost a decade. You got to go back to 2015. So, pretty cool stuff.
Let's go to Jerry in the Bronx. Jerry.
Michael, pleasure. Don, Peter. Michael, listen, and Don, I agree with 90% of the things that you guys say. Peter, I never agree with anything you say.
Wow, really?
Okay. Michael,
anything.
You can't go and make a statement that says, because I'm cheering for the Mets to win, I'm less of a Yankee fan. I'm supposed to cheer for the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, so you did agree with me, but you just said you didn't. But okay.
Michael.
Why are you cheering for the Mets if you're a Yankee fan? Why?
Hello?
I'm asking you a question. Why are you cheering for the Mets if you're a Yankee fan?
Hello?
Are we not being fed to them?
I don't know.
Is there something like it feels like we're not being fed back?
Because
to the callers?
I was in the mood to argue. It would have been a great argument.
I wanted the smoke with that guy in the worst way.
He is good. I'll speak for him.
You speak moron?
Well, that's strong.
No, it's not.
You called all of our listeners potheads. Peter just said
that some people might think that's a compliment. I'm stating fact. I think a lot of our callers are high. Is that there's a rivalry with the Dodgers because they played in the World Series in 77, 78, 81. If you're old enough, you remember the Brooklyn Dodger days and all that. I mean, I don't know. That's probably the angle he is going to go to. But there's a lot of Dodger fans around the country, and there's probably some in New York. But are you really going to have to go to your office the next day and have to deal with any Dodger fans if you lose a World Series to them, the way you're going to have to deal with Met fans? That's the point. And really, the last time the Dodgers and the Yankees played in anger, in a postseason game was 1981. All right, that's a long time ago, Michael. A very long time.
I just love the guy. You mean I'm supposed to root for the Yeah, you're a Yankee fan. What are you doing rooting for the Mets?
Well, but by the way, first of all, you don't have to root for anyone.
Right.
You could just
enjoy the game.
Leave the game on and see what you see. But number two, what would be the downside if you're a Yankee fan rooting for the Dodgers in the NLCS? Who cares?
Right.
There's that level of vitriol for the Dodgers?
Listen, I don't wish this because it would be ugly all around. You Yankee fans that are so foolish to be rooting for the Mets, if you meet them in the World Series and they beat you, you'll never get out from under it. Don't you understand that? Can you be that thick?
This is where you lose me. This argument is like you're living in 1966. It's just not the same.
How can you not get it?
Because it's not the same.
It is the same.
They're not going to never get up from under it.
They have never gotten up from under the Red Sox losing in 2004.
So yes, if it is literally the worst, most embarrassing loss in the history of sports, then I agree. But that's anyone.
But
I just don't think it's the way Michael describes it. It's so long ago, Don.
But I'm not going to get mad at you because you're not in it, both because you didn't grow up here and you're not that as big a baseball fan to understand what you're going to go through.
No, I
As
do,
a
though.
Met
It's
fan,
just not
I
the
have
same.
to go on
It is
social
the same.
media.
It's
I have to hear. Listen to me. Here's the issue.
Here's the
issue. Is that I had to go through all season when the Mets were 11 games under 500, Yankee fans saying, yeah, Soto's going to go sign with your poverty franchise. Like he's ever going to go to Flushing and play in that dump. That's what I got to hear from Yankee fans all the time. We've got 27 championships. You're the little brother. So now, all of a sudden, little brother beats you. Now that gives you a little something. That gives you a little ammunition. So when you throw out 27 champions, you haven't won a championship in 09. We went to the World Series in 15, and then we beat you.
I don't see how you don't see it, Peter.
Of course.
I don't see how you don't see it.
But at least it's a big, huge step forward. And I'm sure the Yankee fan doesn't want to have to deal with hearing about.
I hear you. It's obviously something. But Michael does it to me, Don, with this tone of almost he's remembering his youth and the way it was and how you couldn't live if the other team won. I just think we don't live in a world where it's that black and white.
Do you listen to
anymore.
the show? I mean, I don't understand how you can even say that. Forget about 1970.
How often do I just don't see Mets fans constantly these days thrashing the Yankees?
Because you know what? They have nothing to thrash. But if they beat the Yankees in the World Series, they'll be thrashing, baby. They'll be thrashing. And they'll thrash forever. If you go back to 1950, the Yankees beat the Dodgers like a drum. A drum. And then finally the Dodgers won a World Series in 55. And every Dodger fan hung their hat on that they beat the Yankees finally in 55. Now, the Yankees came back and won in 56, but still the Dodger fans had that one little crumb.
It didn't matter. Right, it almost didn't matter because finally they got their comeuppance. And again, you don't live, and again, I'm not mad at you. You don't live in the world. Like when I did that top 5 home runs, Yankee fans killing me. How can you have Alonso's home run? It was in a wild card. Almost as if how can that be a big home run? It was in a wild card. Like just everything you do something, it's like just constantly kicking you back down to listen. Know your role, little boy. Okay, we're the Yankees. I'm sorry. I want that could be a big deal, and that's a piece of ammunition that's thrown out there. Now, if you're telling me that there's a whole generation of people that don't care, well, then that gets back to the point last week. Then you're not really a diehard. Then you're more of a casual because if it doesn't affect you, if you can go put the Met cap on after the Mets win the World Series and just go to work and say, yeah, they got us, ha, ha, ha. Well, then I guess you're not a diehard because you're not dying hard. You're just a casual, and that's fine, too. Enjoy and consume any way you want to. But if you're going to tell me you're a diehard Yankee fan, you live and die with your team, the last thing you want to do is have the Mets beat you.
It is time now for the Dan Orlovsky Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of White Plains. And our good friend Dan joins us now. Dan, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
We're fighting, but we're okay. I want to start off with this, okay? So we thought that Rodgers calling out Mike Williams was throwing a player under the bus. But what does it matter what Michael, Don, and Peter say? And then I saw a tweet from Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who played the position as you did, and said, it shouldn't be done. It should never be done. You do that behind closed doors. Dan, you've been in the game your whole adult life. Was that the right thing or the wrong thing for Rodgers to do?
No, it was the wrong thing. I completely agree with Ryan. In that moment, you know, a great leader, when you're frustrated and emotional and disappointed and upset, you fall on it and take it. And then anybody, especially in today's media, it's going to come out exactly what happened. And then you look even better if people go, oh, you know, it was Mike's fault, or Mike kind of does the wrong thing. Aaron jumped on the grenade for him. That's the kind of guy that in the moment at 2-4 the Jets are going to need. So I agree with Fitzy, kind of disappointed. And I heard Aaron, you know, on Pat's show the next day, Pat McAfee show the next day, said Aaron was like, listen, I took accountability first in the press conference and I got to play better. I was asked specifically about that question or about that play, and I gave the answer. And I get that. Like, I can't be mad because we want truth, so I can't be mad about that. But I do think a 20-year vet, a Hall of Famer, can probably maneuver it a little bit more cleanly where he takes the brunt of it and it's not thrown at Mike.
All right, so how much better does this deal make the Jets?
Yeah, I think massively better. I've heard so many people talk about Devontae Adams in the last day or so, and it feels like we're talking about a different person. It makes everybody on the offense better and their job easier. He is still one of the elite wide receivers in this game. He is still one of the elite route runners in this game. He is still one of the elite contested catchers in this game. He still has unbelievable feel. And so I think about it in the regards to what the Bengals do with T. Higgins or Jamar Chase, or the Bucs with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. It's everybody's job is easier. You could put Devontae by himself, and if Aaron wants to throw it to Devontae one-on-one, great. That's probably going to work out. And if they want to double-team Devontae or lean people to Devontae, well, then Garrett's job is much better. And if they want to play coverage, then, you know, underneath pass catchers or their backs are going to have less people to have to block, you know, in the run game, so their backs will have more space. So I just think it makes everybody better. The offensive line should have to block longer, less. They should be able to hold blocks just shorter because the ball's going to be coming out. So now, does this fix the main issue? No. The main issue is the details of the offense. I've been adamant about that for 2 weeks now. I liked a lot of the stuff they did offensive scheme-wise. I liked the creativity, the motion, the 4-by-1 formation. So there's a lot to be encouraged about. I still believe in this offense.
Now, how about, I mean, are they out of excuses now? I mean, they've given Aaron Rodgers everything that he wanted. Are the Jets out of excuses for losing?
Oh, gotcha. It is go time now. In totality, they have two Hall of Famers that they've basically gotten in the last, let's call it year, all right, on offense, at premier positions, and said, go win for us. They have three Hall of Famers on the offense if you throw in Tyron Smith. So, but really the quarterback and receiver, hey, you guys are one of the best duos ever. You still can play at a high level. You're both going to Hall of Fame here. And then they've got all these auxiliary pieces that are good players. And then defensively, they still have a very high-end defense. Now they've got to shore up their run game on the interior. They've got to have to play better and hold double teams better. But of course, they're out of excuses. I've had you know, the desire to defend them. I think they're better than 2-4. I remain adamant about that. I'll go out on the limb and say it. But I'm also out of explanations as well. I can't make up excuses or reasons to losing anymore. They got to go on a run, no doubt.
Now, over to the Giants, you look at the injuries that are piling up. No Thomas for the rest of the year. Neighbors is still wearing a red jersey. No Lawrence and Burns in practice. Thibodeau's out for the next few weeks. Is there a world where this team can actually play itself into a top 5 pick and you still believe in the coach?
Yeah, I think so. I think how the team plays will be a long part of that conversation. I think, are you still competitive on a week-to-week basis and find some ways to win, and you are winning because of how the coach is coaching? I think so. I think if you go back to, you know, last week's game against the Bengals, And I think Collinsworth said it on the broadcast, that third quarter drive. It was like Dable was on the field willing the team to try and go score some kind of points. And so I think if Dable continues to coach like that, and you just have to be transparent about the talent, I do believe that is still a situation where you can still believe in the coach for sure. Now, if it gets sideways and it looks like it looked in Carolina at times last year, that's a different conversation.
Do you think that there's a chance, Dan, that there will be a wild card out of the AFC East, or do the Jets have to win that division to get to the playoffs?
No, I think there can be a wild card. So I think the Jets and the Bengals are going to battle the Chargers and the Steelers for a final playoff spot. That's kind of my vision of it right now. 6 games in, I still think that the Bengals are going to go on a run, mainly because the Jets and the Bengals schedule is relatively easy. I don't think Miami's going to be healthy enough. Obviously, New England, the Raiders, nope. The Broncos, I don't believe in enough offensively. I think in the South, we're looking at really Houston, Indy, maybe. That's going to be very dependent on how Anthony comes back and he's healthy, how he's playing. So that's what I'm saying. I think those 4 teams are going to battle for what would equate to, I think, 3 spots. And, Chargers are really good defensively. And I think that Pittsburgh, we'll see what happens to their quarterback. So I just don't believe that either the Jets nor the Bengals are out of it.
If you had to choose the Chiefs or the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl right now, where are you leaning?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs, I think their defense is better, and I think their offense can score. I don't want to say as dominant as Baltimore, but I've seen enough football from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and anybody else on offense.
Great stuff, Dan. As always, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was the Dan Orlovsky Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of White Plains.
Good line from Dan.
Proud member of the Pepe Auto Group, the name you've trusted since 1968. Well, Peter's line is excellent, crystal clear.
Oh, perfect.
And you need that when you have ENN in the 5 o'clock hour. That's going to happen in just a moment, right here on Yes in 880 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Reese's. They'll get you. They will get you good.
Jump ball at center court.
It's game time. Let's talk later. Step aside, Ant. It's a big man's job.
This year, we go back to back.
Not so fast, JT.
Meet me on the floor, ASAP. We need more time.
Do y'all mind? Let's go.
And here we go. It's a circus inside this building.
We're all presumed innocent until proven guilty. But only those of us who can't afford bail have to wait trial in jail. That's not right. And that's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Yes is your Yankees home for the ALCS. Pre-game, post-game, around every game. Tomorrow, get set for Game 3 against the Guardians.
The stars need to be stars.
Then come back for post-game reaction after the final out. Begins tomorrow at 4 on Yes.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. These superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Misty? You know this person?
Is your cat getting too cool? Give him Temptations treats.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Do you know what can get your friends to vote this year? You can. Because when people are encouraged by friends like you, they're far more likely to vote. So use your power. Ask your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The freedom to live in safety. That's an American dream.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/know-the-risks.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
On TV.
Ready, roll. ENN. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisian.
Come get some.
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying good evening to Michael.
I'm 63. I've never done a hit of marijuana.
And to Don.
If Paul Simon say, "Hey Don, I'm familiar with your work," you wouldn't even have to say I enjoy it. Just the fact that he consumed me.
And to myself. Eagles game is not what it was. Excuse me.
No, but the mic picked up the swallow.
It's that's a tough moment for me.
Not tougher than your Met one.
Eagles game is not what it was. Excuse me.
No, but there was legitimate concern for Michael.
I've never heard that he's actually worried.
I worry about you a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You just love Tiger. Sniff him dead. My biggest worry is that one day I'm not going to be here, and you're much younger than me. Who's going to worry about you when I'm gone?
Do you see what's in my hand here? Do you see this hog that's in my hand here, Michael? I'm going to be fine, Michael.
Hang up on it!
Although I was in the mood to scrap with that guy who said, I never agree with you, Peter. I've never once agreed with you.
You think that had political leanings?
Without question.
It's just hard to imagine that if you listen to the show You've never agreed with a sports thought that I've ever had. Like even if you really hate my guts, there has to be a day. Like I get on the radio a couple days ago and I go, "Hey, can we all agree to give Stanton his flowers?" He's screaming right now, "No, I completely disagree. Stanton is trash. He deserves nothing."
Never mind that. Then the point he makes is one that agreed with you
or
and
closer
disagreed with us.
It was closer to me than you guys, certainly.
And I just don't understand how people even know your political leanings. I think you've kept it very close to the vest.
Boom! I mean, honestly, can I tell you the truth? Let me tell you something.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I tell you the truth? Mm-hmm. Relative to, like, it seems like a lot of people in the market and in the world, I kind of do keep them close to the vest. I mean, we're joking, right? But, I mean, there are other sports talk shows. They're outright just talking about who they're voting for. I don't do that.
There are other places where maybe you tip your hand, and maybe they're going on that.
That's not right.
But if you listen to this show, you have not made it known.
That's not true.
It's just an assumption. So it's not
fake news.
But we can't be this way.
No.
People. You just completely disown the other side.
I love my commies.
And that goes for both sides, man. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because at some point, no matter who wins the election,
we're going to have to live with each other.
We're all on the same team. We want this to work.
Are we?
Well, apparently not.
That's what I'm
we're
saying.
Supposed to be.
When people call and just volunteer, "Hey, I've never agreed with a word you said," which just isn't true. I don't know that he wants to be on the same team as me.
But that's fine that he doesn't agree with anything, but he has to not like you for that.
That's not right.
Ebros.
Do you think the reason Mayor Adams never wanted to come back on our show was because after he went on the morning show with us and repeatedly pluralized Ebro's name, at that point, after we made fun of it, he said, I'm done with him?
I think he had a fight with Turkey. So
I'm getting a lot of tweets because the mayor is wearing the split Yankee hat.
Yeah, I posted it. Yeah.
I don't care. Are you going to call him a front? Fine. He's the mayor.
He goes without saying.
I don't know what you want him to do. And listen, if you want, like Giuliani wore his heart on his sleeve because he was actually a fan of the Yankees. If he's not a fan of either team, then he's probably doing the right thing. And at this point, you want to try to make many people happy as possible. What's happening with him? He's from New York. He's from Brooklyn.
Did you say what's happening with him?
Yeah, lots of
clown show, clown show, clown show, clown show. By the way, speaking of me and the Mets, no Mets. I'm in. I'm on the.
What?
All right, guys. I've been waiting to get to this all day.
Well, then do it.
It's not his fault that this got bounced to 5:30.
You know what? Now I'm switching. Doing something else just to piss Michael right off.
I don't even know what it was, so you're not really setting me off, are you?
Can you set up the Bob Shoes and audio I'm about to play here, Don?
So the Wild are playing the St. Louis Blues.
On ESPN.
Is on the call right
you
there.
You hear that, Phil?
First game of a doubleheader for ESPN. And late in the game with the goaltender pulled for the Blues, this happened.
Buchnevich fires in, looking for a goalie goal. Gustafsson scores! Philip Gustafsson mobbed! We've got the goalie goal!
He is the 15th goaltender to be credited with a goal in NHL history, the 11th to physically put the puck into the net. So that's pretty cool.
Isn't that the only way to get a goalie goal?
No, because let's say there's an own goal, Michael. Like, let's say they pull the goaltender, the St. Louis pulls the goaltender, and they throw the puck back to the defense. It gets missed and goes into the net. They will give the goal to whoever was the last player on the other team to touch the puck. So if that happened to be the goaltender, like Marty Brodeur scored a goal into the net in the playoffs against Montreal, but there was also a game that he played against Carolina. Carolina scored on their own net. Marty was the last person to touch it and gets credit with the goal. Billy Smith also got a goal that way. So 15 have gotten 4 credited, but 11 actually physically put into the net. I think Shesterkin's going to do it one day, and I'm hoping I'm on the call when it happens.
Will you go goalie goal?
No, I don't like goalie goal.
So you're criticizing Wischusen?
No, I'm not criticizing. It's just preference. I think he had a hell of a call.
What would you call it then if it's not a goalie goal?
I got to live in the moment, Michael. I'm not sure.
You haven't thought about it?
Yeah.
In other words, he's going to try to just get a word in edgewise.
No.
Yeah.
Are you watching? All right, guys. Some Giants news. Malik Neighbors practiced Wednesday in a red non-contact jersey.
Practice at Jace.
It's confirmed. For the first time since suffering the concussion a few weeks ago against the Cowboys.
I heard he had earbuds playing Travis Scott.
Brian Daboll's optimistic. By the way, that's like... I think the Travis Scott story kind of came and went, so now we reference it all the time. I think it's a deeper cut than we realize. When we just drop and
I don't know what it means.
See, exactly. He's on the show, Michael. Dable is supposedly optimistic, hoping Neighbors will take the next step tomorrow. He's in the concussion protocol.
I want to get it.
He went to a Travis Scott concert.
Oh, that okay.
See, it's a deep cut.
But yeah, I should have, but I didn't care.
See?
I forgot.
Here's the really bad news for Giants fans.
What's that?
Andrew Thomas underwent surgery to repair his Liz Frank. We all know the Liz Frank.
I used to date a girl named Liz Frank.
Related to former Congressman Barney Frank?
No relation.
He will miss the remainder of 2024.
Not good.
Brian Dable
Not what you want.
No. That is absolutely not what you want. Saquon Barkley is not a New York Giant, but he will return to MetLife Stadium. Saquon, how are you going to be received?
This rivalry is so much bigger than what happened in the offseason between me and the Giants or Hard Knocks. Like, this has been going on for a really long time. So I've been on the other side, and I know how Giants fans feel. So I don't know what the environment is going to be like, but I'm excited. You know, as a player, as a competitor, you kind of welcome those environments and those moments. So wherever it is, hopefully it gives me a little extra juice, and I can go out there and perform on my team.
I'm going to guarantee it right now. Outpouring of huge love for Saquon.
And anybody that doesn't, I'm going to give it to you again. Anybody that doesn't, you don't know what you're doing. They didn't want him back. They didn't even make him a real offer. So what you want him to retire? So, yeah, but listen, I understand booing him once the game starts. The first time he shows his face, you got to cheer him.
Yeah, the first couple times when you first see him come on the field for practice, he'll get cheers.
Yeah.
When they come out, he'll get cheered, and then after that, we'll see.
But knowing fans, Michael, that has nothing to do with logic or who's right, who's wrong. If the Giants were 4-2 and playing exceptionally well, they would boo him because they're happy with their team. Philadelphia's a mess. If being unhappy with your team. And you hear a lot of Giant fans calling up, well, why, if we still had Saquon Barkley, then that might motivate the cheer because you're coming from a place of being upset with your own team. So with the Giants being 2-4, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a warm welcome.
This is fascinating, though.
Tell us.
Jordan Ronan threw up a tweet. You know, he's ESPN's reporter for the Giants. Will Saquon Barkley get booed by Giants fans on Sunday? Nearly 7,000 people have responded. 88% say yes, of course. 12% say no, he was a good Giant.
Right, but
I have a theory.
I'm going to just agree with your theory blindly.
It's going to be a great test of how fugazi and ridiculous the internet is. I guarantee you that when we watch the game on Sunday, it does not feel like 88% of people agree with this.
But it's according to when you're going to judge that. Because the first time you see him, I think there's going to be cheers. Once the game starts, he's public enemy number one.
I don't know if he's public. Listen, it's not basketball. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? It's not basketball where every time the player you traded catches the ball, you boo. The stadium's too big. I don't think they're not going to make any noise when he gets a random carry. I think it'll be. And let me ask you, Anthony, you were once a Giants fan before you were completely apathetic and miserable about them. Matt, go back to those days when you weren't miserable and broken. Would you cheer? Would you give Saquon a nice clap when he shows up?
Yeah.
You don't have any negative feelings?
No.
The one-syllable answer. He's so great at it.
Yeah, he's very good.
He doesn't elaborate.
You can't screw that up.
He does go okay every now and then. That's true.
No, well, okay is popular.
He changes it up, but you can't stammer. You can't make a mistake.
Thank you.
He does a great job with that. But it's also the cesspool that is social media.
Right.
So the 7,000 people that voted, 85% of them are people that are just evil and are negative.
Oh, wow, you really cast aspersions.
No, well, guess what?
About social media?
No, but you paint everybody with a broad brush. They're stoned. It's just irresponsible.
I'm standing by that. I believe 75% of our callers are stoned. 50% of the listeners in whole get high. I stand by that. But I think part of the experience of getting high is calling the K Show.
Apparently so.
You guys know.
And whenever I've challenged callers, Michael, they all agree.
Hang up on it!
I don't do much here. I don't contribute much to the show.
No.
I'm not very good at what I do.
Yes.
But the one thing that I will say I am very good at is having a pulse on the audience.
Aaron Rodgers was asked if he was already hopeful that Davante Adams would join him.
Yeah, of course. But I knew there was going to be, a lot of other teams interested. I think it came down to where he wanted to be, and this was at the top of his list.
Important question for Davante Adams. How do you feel about playing with Garrett Wilson?
Obviously, getting in with Garrett, we talked about this like a little over a year ago of just how we wish we could have played together, just because I'm a fan of his game, and obviously, the feeling's mutual on his side, too. So, yeah, here we are now, and we just got to maximize this and take advantage of it.
I got to call BS. Really?
Come on.
Ambassador Johnson?
Do you really think, in the current climate of wide receiver world, all right, that wide receivers get together and talk about playing together?
Here we go.
Yeah, but this is it. I think this was at the Pro Bowl.
No, but I'm saying is that do they dream of playing together like basketball players to make each other better? Wide receivers want the ball. Like, I don't think Wilson's going to have a problem with this, but I think he came here to play with Rodgers. Wilson's, I don't think, part of the vibe. You think the way that wide receivers are divas, they dream about playing with one another?
I think that Don's point just now makes me the point guard for the day. Because I said it earlier, that there might be a problem with Garrett Wilson.
I don't. I think both could be true. I don't think Wilson's going to have a problem.
I think he will.
Per se.
I think in his soul, he's not the number one receiver anymore.
But don't you want to win?
Yeah.
You know what I'm confused by? Garrett Wilson switched to number 5, which I haven't been a fan of. I just, for some reason, don't like seeing the 5. And now Davante is going to be 17. It's all a lot to take in, guys. Now, there's another important Jet whose voice needs to be heard. Some would say he's more important than any of the players and any of the coaching staff.
Interesting.
His name is Fireman Ed, and he's come under some fire. He's come under some fire since this statement, which is making the rounds today.
Hey, I've been getting a lot of emails and texts from fans about the Jet experience in the stadium with the big screens. Last night in particular, although on the Denver game also, last night in particular, we scored a touchdown. And normally, as a tradition, we're always put on a screen. Me, Scott, and Jetman are put on a screen to do the Jet chant and get the crowd going, which is a staple in Jet Life Stadium. Also, on the defensive end, which is the most important, normally they will put us on the screen to get the crowd going. It gives them more of a widespread experience for the fans to see, and we can get the defensive chant going. But something's going on in the Jet production team over in Jet Life Stadium. I don't know exactly what's going on, but they're phasing us out, and I'd like to know if somebody knows anything, please let me know, because it's evident that it's happening, and it needs to stop because we need home field advantage. That's what we have, and we need to keep it going. So something's going on. Please let me know if you know something. Thanks a lot. Go Jets.
It's a bad sign. They even played him out, Michael. That's how you know they were ready for him to wrap it up.
Oh, boy.
I'll let Don handle this.
Oh, boy.
Don, you have some thoughts?
The only team that's been worse at home have been the Giants. So if there's a home field advantage, whatever he's doing hasn't worked in a while. I get he means a lot to Jet fans, but if he's being phased out, I mean, what do? You do your thing, man. Like, what do you get so concerned about it for? I mean, besides, you also were so upset during the Sanchez time, you disappeared. Now you're back and you're upset you're not getting enough FaceTime on the big screen. Is this an issue in Jet World?
You know what I think you should do, Michael?
What's that?
If he's not getting the screen time, there's only one option.
What's that?
He's got to make his full-time gig instead of going to games on Sundays, just getting on a flight, maybe a JetBlue flight, and just doing his chants right there on the plane.
I don't get it.
You don't remember, like, last year when there was the Jets game and they traveled for it and he did it on the plane?
Yeah.
And I really upset Jets fans because I said if I was on that plane, I'd open the emergency exit and kick him out. People got very upset.
I had my issues with him. I think we've squared things away.
You're good.
But I just think that you're just putting too much thought into it, man.
It's also a tough look. I mean, what I would say to Ed, if I was advising him, go ask the Jets. What are you putting that out into the universe for? Like, the Jet fans are going to, like, force the production team to put him on the screen more? Just ask the Jets.
I only have one thing I can say to Fireman in this situation. God bless. That'll do it for ENN on this Wednesday evening. It's brought to you by our friends over at Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Jeep Adventure days. Don, that was for you, and you were too excited to say something. I thought that was just to make you laugh. And you were on.
I'm sorry.
You want me to try it again?
Go ahead.
There's only one thing I could offer to Fireman Ed at this point. You know what it would be?
What?
God bless.
That is good. That is very good.
I will come back.
Listen, you fire up the crowd so you're not on the Jumbotron. So what?
We'll come back with more of your phone calls. Maybe Fireman Ed will call in right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Mezcal Campante. This season's must-drink mezcal. Champions drink Campante.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites and Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites and Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites and Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Amazon Fall Favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon Fall Favorites now.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Yes is your Yankees home for the ALCS. Pre-game, post-game, around every game. Tomorrow, get set for Game 3 against the Guardians.
The stars need to be stars.
Then come back for post-game reaction after the final out. Begins tomorrow at 4 on Yes.
It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare. You get style. You get features. You get quality and thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare. In store or at mybobs.com.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Make sense of your money with Citizens.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
We got Nets.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly.
To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Welcome back to the show. Michael, Don, and Peter with you until 6:30. Dan Grossa takes over, leads you right into coverage of the Mets and the Dodgers Game 3 of
You don't know.
NLCS. I do know. Let's go to the phone calls. Let's go to Paul on the app. Paul.
Hey, MDP, what's up?
What's going on?
Fellas, Donnie, you are the arbiter of fraud, so I need a ruling from you on this. I am a huge Yankees fan, always have been. Man, I don't know if I could do one more second of going to the live post-game Boone press conferences. I don't know what we get out of them.
Post-game or
someone's got to be
pre-game?
the one to say it.
Any game, let's be
It
honest.
might as well be me.
Post-game or pre-game? What are you talking about?
Take another second of how did we play? Yeah, we played okay.
Well, that doesn't make you a fraud. I'm the same way with Dable. I know you feel an obligation to listen to the post-game press conference of your coaches, but when they don't give you anything, then why would you waste your time?
It was repug.
I think Boone's always upbeat. You always err on the side of defending his players and all that. Now, if you don't find it particularly entertaining or informative, I can get mad at you.
Yeah, but
and I can't get mad at you if you enjoy watching it. But I don't find it particularly informative. I don't think you're a fraud, Michael. You got to watch every second of the post-game press conference.
If you speak,
if you're a fan,
if you speak fluent Boone, you know what he's saying, even when he's not giving you exactly what you want.
I mean, even speaking fluent Boone, you still might go to sleep.
Do you believe that you're fluent in Boone?
No, I don't speak fluent Boone, but I still know it's boring.
Listen, I've done my share of post-game press conferences.
Sure you have.
And I would say there's been at least half the time where I will say, coming up, coach, whatever, hopefully we'll get some information on such and such, and you don't get it. It's not like it used to be, Michael. I mean, every once in a while you get to practice. Playoffs, like those type of things, but most of the time it's especially buttoned-up organizations, they're not going to give you very much. So, and as far as that's concerned, even if it's tremendously entertaining, I don't think I'm going to judge your fandom based on how much you consume the post game. Are you?
No, absolutely not.
It doesn't make you a fraud. It's just you know what, you don't feel like you're getting anything out of it. That's all right.
We have empirical evidence. The post games when the Yankees win are much higher rated than when they lose. People just want good news. That's all there is to it. Doesn't matter what they do. They could dance the electric slide. If they win, they're tuned in, and we have the evidence. The ratings show us that.
I think the only time you get a rating off a loss would be if it's the last game of the season.
Yes, because you want to do the post-mortem.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's probably all positive.
Let's go to Chris in the car. Chris.
Hey, Michael. I agree with you. I hated the Mets ever since I was a 9-year-old in 1969. We're about the same age. It was probably scarring for you like it was for me. I cheered for the Red Sox in '86 because I hated the Mets so much. So I'm all down on hating the Mets. About the only time I've ever felt even partly positive about them advancing in the playoffs was in '01 after 9/11, and I felt like the city needed to heal. But that was a very unique situation. I didn't cheer for them in '15. I didn't cheer for them in '73. I've never cheered for the Mets. However, there are advantages to the Yankees this year if the Mets win. We got home field. We don't have to make 2 cross-country trips with an older team. And, you know, the Dodgers have more left-handed power than the Mets have left-handed power. I'd rather have the power guys on the other team be aiming towards the bigger part of the ballpark. So, there are some advantages for the Yankees if the Mets are the ones.
Well, I mean, the only advantage that you're really coming up with, Chris, that I think would be an advantage is, you drive 10 minutes across the RFK bridge, which I still call the Triborough Bridge, but that's the advantage. So you don't have to go 3,000 miles on a 5.5-hour flight. But which team do you match up better with? I think the Dodgers are an easier team.
Now, the only one I'll give you is the home field advantage. But other than that, Michael, the other team's got to fly 3,000 miles too. So it could work to your advantage on those games. And also, too, you do lose a little home field advantage because Met fans will get in Yankee Stadium and vice versa. Like, I still think there'll be a dominant Yankee crowd, but the Met fans will get in the building. So there'll be a few Dodger fans that'll get into the building, but it'll be overwhelmingly Yankees. I mean, there'll be a percentage that'll be rooting for the Mets. So you kind of lose a little bit of that. I got no problem if you're rooting for the Mets because the Yankees, as a Yankee fan, rooting for the Mets because you think that might be the better matchup. I get that.
I'm not sure it is, though.
No, I'm not sure it is either.
And as a fan, what do you care about the travel? Believe me, they travel well. It takes a lot out of you to go cross-country, but they're not flying commercial. I guarantee you that. 1-800-919-3776. Mets-Dodgers Game 3 coming up at Citi Field. We'll break it down. We'll take some of your phone calls as well. And the Yankees and the Guardians tomorrow, Game 3 from Cleveland. So it's Kayla, Greco, Rosenberg, and you right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. As a kid, he made some mistakes, but right out of high school, he joins the Army. Does construction and HVAC his whole life. Paul Rivera's a guy who can say,
I love my life. I've done everything right. So, where's the rub?
Well, he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and the only hope is a lung transplant. Poor guy's close to curtains. When out of the blue, one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, hears about his case and takes it on. Well, not only does our friend get a new lung, he gets a whole new life. He keeps getting stronger. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
Did they give that guy a new lung or a new motor?
Paul Rivera made the most of his second chance. He's a good egg. Unlike you derelicts.
See you guys next week.
Good story, Mr. Giamatti.
Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it. Sharp hat.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the Sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites and Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg. Winning big for the little guy.
Can't you make up your mind? Oh, 'cause you're so far away. Am I just wasting my time? Yeah.
Let's go, yeah. The Bombers are in the ALCS.
This is what I came here for.
And yes is your Yankees postseason home.
You've got to jump the starter.
With enhanced pre- and post-game coverage around every playoff game, plus exclusive player access.
I definitely know the ghosts from the old stadium are with us.
You follow the chase all season. Tomorrow, get set for Game 3 against the Guardians. ALCS coverage continues tomorrow at 4 on Yes.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Or go to samhsa.gov/know-the-risks.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
But I refuse to accept the point guard today. I think I put pressure on them yesterday by saying I had not been picked in 8 shows, and I think it's a pity choice, and I don't want
unprecedented.
I decline.
You're unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm out.
What do you think about the point?
It was okay. I mean, I make so many brilliant points during the show. That was benign. So no, I don't accept it.
So who came in second?
I don't know.
Nobody.
If this is a Reggie Bush situation, then somebody's going to have to win.
By the way, that was another one-word answer from Anthony. When he weighs in, it's max 2 words.
Does he like this on game misconduct?
No, he's chatting up a storm.
Oh, he's a joy.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
3, whenever you get your 5 words. Thank you, Anthony.
See, just talking
God
about
bless.
game misconduct expanded his vocabulary.
Yeah, that was unreal. Can't believe it.
So the Mets and the Dodgers tonight, Game 3.
They're going to play it.
Don, Game 5, they're saying that whether he starts or not, Senga is definitely pitching in Game 5. And I need to know. I need to know from you. I need you to get in contact with somebody at Citi Field. Why the obsession with Kodai Senga? Why?
I don't know.
I mean, the pitcher from last year, I understand. He has not pitched this year. He gave up the home run to Schwarber. He had nothing at Dodger Stadium in Game 1. Why are you running him out there again?
Hold on now. What month was it when he came back the first time?
It was July.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that July day when he played a great game before injuring himself again.
Right. Hurt his calf.
And that was only 3 months ago.
Yeah. He's pitched essentially 8 1/3 innings all year. What are we doing?
I think it's a couple of things. They believe that there's still something there. He wants to do it, and I guess they just don't want to say no to him.
Why?
They still think he's there. I don't know, because they said that he wanted to pitch in the Philly game. All right, I think outside of the Schwarber home run, he pitched well, was able to bridge it to the bullpen, and they did a great job. Peterson came in and ended up winning that game. All right, didn't work out. He didn't have it in Game 1, but I guess they still think that there's something there. Right? I mean, I guess if he's ready to pay, I guess their answer is going to be, I agree with you, by the way, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. If they believe he's healthy and they believe in him, if the calf injury never happened, Michael, and he got lit up in Game 1, it wouldn't stop you from him pitching in Game 5. So I guess that's their logic. He's healthy. He's ready to go. We're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake because whenever you use them, you're compromising your bullpen. Now, you'll have a day off between 5 and 6. I get that, but you're compromising your bullpen.
I think Peterson's attached to the hip with this, so I guess that's the same formula. He will go as long as he can, and then Peterson will come in.
But my point is, as long as you have Peterson, I know I'm not arguing with you. As long as you have Peterson, why are you playing this game? Like, why did the Yankees have to start Davey Garcia when they had Jay Happ ready to go?
I realize that because Peterson was great all year.
Really, really good.
So why not have him start? Now, I understood the Senga thing because you wanted to see what you had in him, and it's been a mixed bag. He was fine in Game 1 against Philadelphia, awful against the Dodgers in Game 1 the other day. So I would think, all right, experiment over. Unless they just do not like him coming out of the bullpen, they feel like he's better starting the game. So why even have him on the roster then? I guess that's the answer. So maybe if they do advance to the World Series, if you're only going to pitch him a handful of innings to start, and you're going to give Peterson instead, then there's probably no reason to even have him on the postseason roster. But I guess they believe that he can still find it.
Yeah, I think they're making a rare misstep. They really are.
I can't disagree. But if he goes out there and if that formula that worked in Game 1 against Philadelphia happens again,
there has to be some logic here, guys.
So we did see that work. We've got one game where it didn't work. We had one game where it worked. So he's on the roster. They like him starting rather than coming out of the pen. As you said, it taxes the bullpen. It only taxes the bullpen, Michael, if Peterson doesn't have it. That was part of what happened too. Peterson didn't have it either.
But what I'm saying with this is you're asking Peterson to do something that he's not used to doing. Now he's been effective coming out of the bullpen, but he's a starter.
I understand that, but in the postseason, this has kind of been his role.
Yeah.
So what they are telling you is,
so it worked once and it didn't work another time.
They believe that what Peterson gave you in the regular season, he may not give you in the postseason, and that Sanga's the better pitcher, and let's let him go. What else can I say? If they believed in Peterson, just start him. Most of the season, he had an average under 3. He was a really good pitcher for them, so just start him. So I have to then think that they don't believe in him, and they still believe in Senga. So and based off of what happened in Game 1 against Philadelphia, I guess there's something there. And now obviously very well rested because he didn't last very long on Sunday, that maybe he'll give you more than just 2 or 3 innings. Maybe he'll be able to go out there and pitch a 6. And if that's the case, well, then that's going to help the bullpen. That has to be the answer, Michael. It can't be, well, he wants to pitch, so we got to give it to him. I'm sorry. It's too late in the game for that.
Yeah, he has 3 years guaranteed. He's not going anywhere. Game. They've got 3 more years of him. So just hope that he's healthy next year. When he's healthy, he's a really good pitcher.
Right.
Another bit of baseball news. Jerry Reinsdorf, longtime owner of the White Sox, has said that he is open to selling the team. Not exactly selling at a high point, coming off 121 losses, but still a Chicago team being sold. He's going to get a good amount for it. He has always said, he has sons that, help run the team, a son that helps run the team. He's told his son, sell it immediately when I'm dead. And also, he's thought about selling it before he dies, for the estate purposes. So we'll see. We'll see. I think he's 90 years old, but he's still sharp as a tack. But the White Sox are for sale. Yeah. That's an interesting thing.
And the other thing is, it's confirmed that Tropicana Field will not be ready for the start of the season. So the Rays are going to have to play someplace else. And you just wonder, Michael, how this affects, the future. Are they going to sink that much money in to fixing that roof?
No.
Or will they, so are they going to end up being a possible team to relocate?
Well, no, because here's the deal. They've agreed on building a new stadium, but and it's going to be done in 3 years. But do you want to spend? It's going to be over $1 million to replace that roof. Are you going to do that? It's more than $1 million. It's like $10 million to replace the roof. Are you going to do that for 1 or 2 years? And then the other question is, do they play at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, which holds only 10,000 people?
I don't mean to misspeak. I mean relocate, meaning obviously they're going to have to play someplace else other than Tropicana Field. Does baseball want you to a major league team to play in a minor league facility?
Well, they're doing it with
3
Oakland.
years.
Right,
but they know that's
does Oakland even count anymore?
Right, but how long is that going to be?
3 years.
Yeah, so I guess that's your answer. That's what they're going to do, Michael.
But one thing about that, they had to jump through hoops because that's the Giants' AAA facility where the A's are going to play in Sacramento. That's the Yankees' facility. They have an A-ball team. That's their Yankee facility. Would the Yankees allow it? Or there's some thought, do the Rays just go play in Miami for 3 years?
But even that's going to be tough to do because from a schedule, I guess you just all right. Well, whoever's on the road. But now with all this interleague play and everything, Michael, it just to hammer in them one team always being on the road when they're home could be that's a pretty interesting juggling act. It's been done. The Yankees played at Shea Stadium for a few years in the mid-'70s. So you've seen,
and that's when you hated me. A comment I made about
that. You made it. It's your fault.
Yeah, it was.
You used to say things.
He said, I'll tell you what he said.
I remember. I know what he said. I can tell you what he said.
I didn't even know him. I remember exactly where I was. It was that kind of moment. Driving across the George Washington Bridge, coming back from a sports phone. Said, let me listen to the enemy. Let me listen to Sterling and Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed it immensely until Michael said, I went to Shea Stadium back when the Yankees played there, and I had to shower when I got home.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a hurtful thing to say. And
you said, you filthy
and,
SOB.
and then when I first met Michael, and of course, I approached him about this. I confronted him. And he said, well, because Shea Stadium was just like a dirty place. It was kind of run down. No, you showered off the Mets.
No, that wasn't it. That was never it.
Oh, well, there was never that much of it. In 74, 75, it was 10 years old. It was not it wasn't a dump. You were showering off the Mets vibe.
Yeah, maybe.
Michael, I saw a headline that made me think of you.
Headless man, topless bar?
Just because I wanted. I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I read that Al Pacino is no longer with the mother of his 16-month-old child. Sadly, those kids.
Who was she with? She was with somebody else. She was with Bill Maher, I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So sadly, those kids are no longer together. But he did say in an interview with the BBC that he does text with his child.
The child's 1.5.
Yep.
The child can't read.
All right.
So is he sending emojis?
Yeah, I think or pictures maybe, I guess. Or does he not understand what text means?
This is why I brought it up. I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on... I mean, this has to be a situation.
So what, does he just get on the phone and go, ooh-ah, ooh-ah?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm texting. Ooh-ah.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
His book is out, and he said, for the most part, he was broke all the time. The only film that he made a lot of money and still continues to make money, supports everything, is Scarface.
Well, listen, evidence suggests, based on the decision to pop off one more at 82 years old, that maybe money isn't Al's thing. You know what I mean? The acting.
Do you think he made that decision and said, let's have a baby? I don't think so.
I know what happened.
Oh, really? I didn't know that he had that kind of access.
I don't know Al, but I know, Don, what happened. The woman and him met in whatever way they did. He decided what he wanted. She decided, a kid with Al Pacino sounds like a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
They had mutual interests. He understood what it would cost him in order to have that experience. And you know what he said? I'm good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I think you're making that up. You have no idea.
Come on.
I think it was...
Come on.
I think one got past the goalie. That's the way I look at it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, then good for him.
Hold on. And really, hold on.
That's better than Gordie Howe scoring.
Oh, my God. It's... Because think about the numbers-wise, Don.
Yeah.
If you look at it statistically.
Yeah, from 82.
You don't like the odds.
You got?
No, and I'm not even talking about the amount of swimming. I'm talking about the amount of reps you'd have to put in at that age to have one get past the goalie. To me, this was a conscious decision. He worked out the trade. He said, you know what, it's worth it. Who cares about the
wait
money?
a minute. Even if it was a conscious decision, the amount of reps, it would still involve that.
Sure, but then you could at least time it. You're at least going for something. Or maybe we don't even know what happened. Maybe it was scientifically involved. We don't know.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Trying to squeeze in an IVF before it's illegal?
See, and I'm the political one.
That's out there. It's just that. I'm not saying whether I agree or not. It's just out there.
I just think it seems so odd that you would randomly have a kid at 82. I enjoy.
Well, you know what? I was just talking to Tony. Oh, that's right. Tony Randall's not alive to see his children. It's irresponsible when you have kids that late. It really is. Because you're not going to be there.
Well, I
had my kids when at 49 and 51, and I feel guilty about that. Imagine having a child at 82. How long do you expect to be here?
Yeah, but I guess you just want a legacy, I guess.
Oh, he's got kids. He's got kids.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, but hold on. This kid's going to be okay. They're going to be taken care of.
But they don't have their father.
But they'll have their mother, and they'll have lots of aunts and uncles and family, and this really important thing called good old-fashioned American greenbacks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But he doesn't have much money if you read his book.
Well,
it's all
everything's relative.
Yeah, it's relative. All I know is that he won't grow up with a father. But you know what? You're going to be able to You're going to see the Godfather.
You want point God? No, you want point God, Don?
Scarface.
You want point God right here?
Yeah.
The average person would probably rather trade their living father for the legacy of Al Pacino to be your father.
No.
I'm just being honest with you, Don.
I don't think that's right.
Listen, most dads are pretty good, but to have your dad, you don't know him, but then you watch Scarface and go, guess that guy? It's my dad. It's not the worst thing.
Now, the Yankee news found out earlier in the 3 o'clock hour. It's since been confirmed when Aaron Boone was actually on the podium talking to the media that with a left-hander Boyd going tomorrow for the Guardians, there's a real good chance Trevino is in the lineup, Wells is out of the lineup, and Stanton will move from 5 till 4 in the lineup. Don't know how the rest of the lineup shakes down, but Trevino has not been hitting at all since coming off the IL. It's going to be interesting to see what he can contribute to the Yankees offensively as they're up 2-0, and tomorrow will be the first of 3 straight games, so they give Wells the day off against a lefty, and Wells has really, really struggled.
Greg from Trumbull weighs in with a great point about Al Pacino. Make you feel better about it, Michael. When the kid graduates high school, Al will only be 100, so it's not that bad. Think about it.
You know what? He brings up a great point.
100. That's it.
Right. And I sit in bed at night, staring at the ceiling and doing math. Let's see, when Charlie's in college, I'll be. It's. I wonder if Al's doing that.
I think he's moved on from the math. By the way, he already had late ones.
Yeah, he had kids with Beverly D'Angelo.
But no, I don't know if those were the late ones. Oh, those were probably latest too, right?
Well, they're in their 30s now, I think.
So yeah, that's pretty late.
Beverly D'Angelo, it's very underrated.
Oh,
especially Christmas Vacation Beverly.
Yeah. No.
Any of them.
Original Vacation, truly.
Yes, true.
That's when you're getting the nudity. The good old-fashioned 80s nudity. They don't do it like that anymore.
No.
And now it happens. It just feels so gratuitous and odd. And you go, what was going on then? And I know what was going on. It's not great.
Let's go to Nick in Woodbridge. What's up, Nick?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Nick.
So 2 things. One, I wanted to get back on the Yankee point.
Go for it.
Before about if the Yankees were to lose to the Mets in the World Series. Because I think there is a world here where both Peter and Michael, you guys might both be correct, right? Because I think there's 2 different types of fans. There's the casual fans that don't care enough to really let it get under their skin. They'll always throw, to Don's point, the 27 rings no matter what, right? And then there's the diehard fans that still lose sleep over what happened in 2004 because it was the most embarrassing thing to happen to the organization for most people in their entire lives. And I think a Mets World Series win over the Yankees would feel that way. The second point is regarding Al Pacino. I think that Al Pacino's kids are definitely, they absolutely hate this new baby because he's now cutting into the pie of the inheritance.
What a great point. There's your point, God, right there, Nick.
Oh, well, yeah, I could have told you that. That's probably.
But Robert De Niro also just had a child, right?
He did,
and I think he's older than Pacino.
No,
they're
right on the same.
Right
no,
there.
I think he's like 2-3 years behind. That's my
then
thought.
that's okay.
Yeah, they're good. Now, the caller brings up an interesting point. Do you think any version of the Mets beating the Yankees, any version, even if it's a hard-fought 7-game series, is worse than the 04? I don't think so. I don't think that's surpassing 04.
No, I don't think so. Well, it's in your face.
It's in your face, but it's not the 3-0, and it's not the Red Sox.
Yeah, the 3-0 is a tiebreaker.
Michael said it so well that if it doesn't happen again, then in the year 3000 in the World Series, they're going to pop up the graphic when a team is down 3-0, the only team to come back and win. Or the only team to blow the lead, it'll be the Yankees. Like, that is never going to go away.
I don't have a way to pay this off, Don, but I'm willing to guarantee you that by the year 3000, it will have happened again.
Well, I don't know.
I've got so much.
It hasn't happened since. When did the World Series start? 1901.
Yeah, it took no time. Relative, it took like 100 years. I've got hundreds of years.
Robert's 81.
We've got 1,000 years.
1,000 years, Michael. I think there's no World Series.
In 1,000 years, I think Pacino's having another kid.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the good one right
Let's
there.
go to Nick in Staten Island.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How you doing,
Thanks
Nick?
for taking the call. Doing all right. I want to say, or ask, really, when does it stop with the Mets and luck? Like, what is it going to take for this notion of luck to not follow
Nick,
them anymore?
it should stop by now, man.
It
They're a
should
legitimately
stop now.
good team, Nick.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, is it going to take a World Series sweep against whichever team to, like, say, well, this team is good? Because if they say they go to the World Series and they go to Game 7 against whoever and win, there's going to be a lot of people who just say, oh, well, they got lucky. They got lucky.
Nah, they shouldn't.
I think
it doesn't get you the best record in baseball. I mean,
the best record in baseball, the fact that they beat 2 first-place teams and the Phillies, who were in the conversation as the best team in baseball, and if they were able to beat the Dodgers, even if they lost to the Yankees or the Guardians in the World Series, you can't say luck when you're beating those
Donna,
kind of
we
teams.
haven't
You've been
heard
that good
luck.
for that
I mean,
long.
we've pretty much heard magic. I mean, there's magic in there, but there's no luck.
Well, here's the thing, Michael.
Yeah, I haven't heard luck.
I haven't heard luck.
Magic. Magic. And you know what? There was magic in 86. And that team won 108 games in the regular season and were the favorites against the Astros and the Red Sox. And it was magical, the way they're winning games and the thrill and all that, and the come from behind and all that. But I think that they've left the whole miracle. This is not an Arizona Diamondbacks vibe to it. Like, I don't think people are going to be able to use this Met team as an example of you just got to get in it to win it. No, when you've been this good since May 30th, and you're competing with the teams you're competing with in the postseason, this is no fluke anymore.
4 months of having the best record in baseball is not luck.
This is confirmation that the way they closed the regular season was for real. More so than
how you feeling about tonight, Donnie?
I feel good. Coming home, I like the pitching matchup. I like how they responded in Game 2. So I think we're going to go back, unfortunately, to Los Angeles, but I think the Mets will take 2 out of 3 at Citi Field. And they'll go to L.A. with a chance, with 2 cracks to win it.
Peter, what are you looking to eat today at Citi Field?
Good question.
Well, I'm going to be out in left field-ish, so
you're not that far from Shake Shack.
No, but Shake Shack.
That's a 3-hour commitment.
I'm good.
Yeah, 3-inning commitment.
Listen, Shake Shack used to be like, oh my God, Shake Shack. Now it's everywhere. It doesn't hit the same. Let's be honest.
Okay.
So I don't know. I might get the helmet filled with nachos. I might just go straight up, just a dog.
You heard dog.
Peter?
Yeah, Anthony?
There's a cookie bucket.
Oh, yeah.
20 cookies in a bucket.
I can't.
I don't know where it is. You got to find it, though.
I can't do
You
20
can do it.
cookies
You
in a
can
What you
do
is
it.
you eat the cookies, and then you have a bucket to vomit in.
No. By the
Or
way,
you could put it on your head.
no. By the way, I could eat it easily. I'm just saying the amount of carbs. That's 2 weeks
That's
worth.
one
of
day.
I can't.
You won't feel good.
Dan Gross is coming up next, leading you right into the Mets and the Dodgers Game 3. Stay right here. Billy Joel, take it away.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, Brooklyn Nets Magazine, followed by Brooklyn Nets preseason basketball as the Nets are down in Philly to take on the 76ers. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
This is you, and this is your lingering hunch.
The Browns look riveting, Gary.
The kind that just sort of hangs around.
Their defense, unstoppable.
But with fans